Kentucky is home to so many incredible attractions that are fun and great for everyone to check out, but perhaps some of the most beautiful ones are the ones that showcase what has been here long before any of us.
Yeah, and Bernheim Forest is the place in Kentuckiana to go to, especially we're so lucky to be able to get here this time of year. The colors are out, the sun is shining today, and there's so much to learn and explore and experience all about nature in our home.
And that's in our next stop, Bernheim Forest and Arboretum.
Something that people of all ages can enjoy out here at Bernheim is the 17-acre playground. And I mean nature enthusiasts of all ages, Claude. They can come out here, and we're sat right in the middle of it. One of the newer parts of it, actually, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
We've built the whole Playco system, which is a mashup of playground and ecosystem, as a platform for doing research on play. So we have 3 zones: a nature play, an adventure play zone, and an exploration play zone. We're right at the edge of the adventure play and the exploration play.
Okay, so, and this is actually fairly new. People who've come to Bernheim before are probably not going to have seen this part of the adventure play kind of area, right? Or the explore play area.
That's correct. We opened this on October 4th, so it's not even a month old yet. But already lots of children have been up here playing, so.
Gotcha. So what was kind of the thought behind creating this treehouse?
Well, we have so many children in the modern world that play on manufactured playgrounds, plastic and metal and mulch. And what we wanted to do with Playco System is return people to nature, build a way to develop deep connections between children and nature at the earliest ages. So we work with all people, and that includes people with challenges of mobility and challenges with vision. So the tree house is an introduction to the exploration play zone, but it's also an opportunity for kids to be out in the trees. So we're the state arboretum of Kentucky. So being in trees is part of our mission of connecting people with nature.
There you go. So, but I mean also, tree houses, they're just something that kids love to play in. I mean, every kid growing up, I think, had that tree house, had that space outside for them to play in. And this just brings something like that to even more kids throughout Kentuckiana.
Well, I don't know that every child did have a tree house, and that's what we want to provide. As a public place, we wanted a tree house that even a child in a wheelchair could explore. So we have ramping coming out from the tree house that meets the slope guidelines for someone in a wheelchair, and we've already had some wonderful experiences. And we use children in wheelchairs and other children from camps to actually design the playground.
Okay. And now, as we go further along here, so you said we're heading into the explore section now, right?
Yeah, so when you ask our staff why they work at a place like Bernheim, often you will hear, when I was a kid, I played in the woods. Most children in the modern world don't have opportunities to play in the woods. So what we've done is created that. So we have about a 12-acre area, a very wooded area, but it's enclosed with an 8-foot fence so that parents feel good about allowing their children just up into the woods. Now this zone, you'll see there's not a lot that we've put into it because you don't need a lot. Children just love being in the woods, finding sticks, making shelters, hiding from other people, playing games that, you know, of chase and hide. And so we wanted to create the opportunity for children to turn the woods into whatever they need it to be. And by having this gradual gradient from kind of a plan to nature playground like you might encounter at an elementary school or an early learning center or another park. And then a wooded area that's more park-like, and then the woods. There are very few children that get an opportunity to explore woods like this. This is a beautiful section of oak, maple, hickory, and it's probably one of the prettiest forested areas at Bernheim. Turning that over to children was a major decision for Bernheim, but we feel like it's incredibly important to start the journey of children to love nature, be in nature, connect with nature, and then they might end up working here.
Now, it wouldn't be a trip to Bernheim without a conversation about conservation and the ecosystem. You know, Andrew, telling me a little bit about the spot that we're in right now, one of the wetlands.
Yeah, so Bernheim has been working on this spot for a number of years. You can see behind me the old spring house, which was built here in the 1970s. And you know, this site before was just a lawn where we're standing. And so we worked to take the spring that was behind this and to create a couple of pools here so that the water can be captured and slowly filter down and into the lower Olmsted ponds. You know, in doing that and in capturing the spring water, we've created habitat for amphibians, for waterfowl, but also one of the creatures that's come in and started using this space that we're really excited about are the beavers. And if you look over here on this side in the larger pool, right before it goes under the road and into the Olmsted ponds, the beavers have come in and enhanced one of the log dams that we had built. And you can see all of the mud and the sticks that the beavers are putting on there. They're really active this time of year. They're building up their dams, and they're also gathering food for the winter. And you know, the work that the beavers do here at Bernheim is so important because they're kind of adding an extra benefit onto some of these environments that our staff help to engineer and to create. And then they come in and they're kind of like phase 2 engineers, and they build upon that. And you know, it provides benefits in terms of slowing down the water runoff into the Olmsted ponds. You know, slowing that down, it helps the water to recharge into the underground aquifers. It filters it out and you get cleaner water quality. It also creates all these habitats that are useful for an abundance of other animals, whether it's macroinvertebrates, insects, amphibians, turtles. You know, these spots are really a unique habitat within the Arboretum. And we've also found that they're also really popular for school kids and visitors to Bernheim. It's just something that you don't get to see in a lot of other places around Louisville, a place where beavers are not only accepted, but are kind of encouraged to do what they do.
Yeah, let's walk a little bit and kind of talk more about that sort of exploration for you guys scientifically. You know, it sounds like there is a lot of intentionality behind the stuff you all have added to what is already a really stunning natural environment out at Bernheim.
Yeah, we've tried to stay on the forefront of what's going on in terms of the local ecosystem around Bernheim. You know, working with the forests and the knobs that we have here, and obviously the wonderful streams and wetland habitats. And looking at the animals that we still have at Bernheim, stuff like golden eagles, endangered bats, you know, and trying to promote a place where wildlife and humans can coexist and kind of be a showcase for, you know, Central Kentucky and for the Louisville community to come down and to actually be able to see and interact with some of these habitats and species.
Yeah. We're coming into, you know, kind of one of the most beautiful times of year for Bernheim because the colors are such a huge draw, I imagine, for people to come out and see that part of the environment in addition to all of the animals and the habitats.
Yeah, so Bernheim's probably known as one of the best fall color locations in Central Kentucky. And just 25 miles south of Louisville, you come down and see, you know, you can go up Forest Hill Drive and see color change all the way from the lowlands all the way into the upland forest with the white oak. No matter when you're out here, something is going to be changing color. Early on in October, you get a lot of color change in the Arboretum. We've got a lot of horticultural collections that change early. And then as you go up into the forest, you know, that natural forest buffers and slows down the color change. And so as we get closer to Halloween, you're going to see all the maples and these lowland areas kind of peaking in color. But then as you get into November and you get into the upper areas around the fire tower, you're going to see peak color change in the first and second weeks of November, where you're just going to have incredible reds, browns, and golds up there.
Is that something that's changed over time for you all in terms of kind of picking out the timing for the peak colors?
Well, it certainly changes every year. You know, we have some years where it'll change early if we get frost and cold snaps in early October. This year it's been warmer and we haven't had a frost yet, so everything's kind of holding off. And we think that we're probably going to see peak in the lowlands next week, and then in early November we'll see the uplands really start to change.
When people come, you know, out, whether they're interested in the animals or in seeing the leaves or just walking on the trails, you know, what do you kind of want them to take away about the environment here and the environment of Central Kentucky that we have to protect?
Well, you know, as you come down to Bernheim from Louisville, you really see how the landscape has changed over the years. You see a lot of development around I-65, and you see a lot of these farms and natural habitats that have disappeared. Coming into Bernheim, you get a chance to still interact with those special places, the forests that are allowed to just exist, you know, the streams that are free-flowing. You see wildlife here that just doesn't exist in other parts of Central Kentucky right now, from golden eagles to the migratory birds that people come out to listen to. You know, Bernheim really is a special place, and we offer over 40 miles of trails for people to get up into the forest, to really find themselves, to get away from all the bustle and the noise of the city, and, you know, make special memories with your family and your friends.
You know, Mark, since we've been here, it's a stunning day, so I imagine it's going to be pretty busy for you all, but y'all see thousands of people no matter the weather.
We do. There's no such thing as bad weather, just bad gear. So people are out here, rain or shine, but it's almost always like this at Bernheim. We're such a special place to visit.
How many folks will you guys see over the course of a season or over the year?
Well, over the year, we'll see over 300,000 visitors, and we get them from all 50 states and a number of countries. And so we're very proud to be part of tourism in Kentucky.
You guys really do see all sorts of people. I mean, we were talking off camera just a little bit ago about the fact that you guys track how many dogs you see come through here on a regular basis.
It's true. When you come through our ticket booth, we indeed count the people, but we also count the dogs. And most of those dogs get a biscuit, and we had over 15,000 dogs last year.
You're a real salesman. All those dogs are going to be telling the voters, let's get to Bernheim right now.
Well, and as long as they're on the leash and people pick up, everybody's happy.
And tour groups too, which is a great opportunity for school kids in the area.
Yes. Our team educates over 10,000 students a year in official programs, and then we get all kinds of home schools and drop-in schools. And so, you know, it's probably 20,000 students a year, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And of course, we're so proud of the fact that we start from the youngest and we go right along through to the elderly, and we're making Bernheim more accessible every day for everybody. Strollers, wheelchairs, walkers, etc.
Yeah. Obviously, one of the big draws is to come and enjoy this beautiful natural space, but you all have really worked too to curate a good visitor experience to welcome people with, you know, your incredible visitor center.
Yeah, in our 16,500 acres that we own, and then we protect an additional acreage for wildlife reasons. But, you know, in that acreage, right here in the Arboretum, there's some must-sees. Our visitor center is a Platinum LEED certified building. It's absolutely gorgeous. We have a Tin Man, the heart of the forest, who welcomes everybody to nature. And so we're very proud of that. And of course, we have an edible garden. We have LAND, which is landscape plus art plus nature plus design, and an experience of discovery, which is some big, large landscape scale stuff that you can discover beautiful creative art out in nature right here at Bernheim.
We're about to walk inside the visitor center, so
Yes.
tell me a little bit more about that LEED certification, what that means, and why it's so crucial that Bernheim.
So you can see here our tag is that we were LEED Platinum in 2007. And what that means is that's leadership in energy and environmental design. And so this building uses about 1/5 the energy that a normal building this size would use. And there's all kinds of tricks to keeping it energy efficient. On the front end, we have conifers on the north side that block the northern winds. On the south side of the building, we have deciduous trees that allow the light in the winter to warm the building. Fun little things like this. This is a cypress beam that came from Heinz pickle vats that after a while, the cypress becomes too pickled to pickle anymore. We got those and made these laminate beams. And so that was reusing that wood. They cut cypress in the south, we reuse the wood, and to complete that cycle, which Bernheim does, we planted cypress trees on our lake. So, you know, that's the way we think about buildings, that's the way we think about life. It all is connected.
Absolutely. That is so interesting.
Yeah.
So when we get in here now, I mean, obviously this is where everything kind of starts. For
Sure.
Right? I can see the landscapes, the education. I mean, this is kind of your hub. I mean, your base camp. Plenty of people come out here, they go on hikes, so this is your base camp.
It's the place to start your visit because here you can get oriented to what else is out there. Go find our 40 miles of hiking trails. You can get a map to go find the forest giants in a giant forest.
Yeah.
You can get everything you need, all the information and membership right here. But also we have a wonderful gift shop and we have a cafe that is second to none.
Yeah.
We are the best kept secret for food in this entire region.
That was going to be my next question is, you know, locals know that Isaac's is kind of a little secret
Absolutely.
at Bernheim, but you know, how did that kind of come about that this has become such a staple of a visit to Bernheim for y'all?
Well, first of all, most of our vegetables and some of our fruit are grown right across the street here in our edible garden. So it's fresh, local, and organic. You can't beat that. So our staff makes soups that are just unbelievable. They make these pastries. I mean, I'm sorry, I have to walk by this pastry, you know,
How do
with
you
my
do
back, with my back to it, because otherwise I'm going to stop and eat them all.
Right.
You know, but we also just are caring for our customer in this building.
Yeah.
And so we have orientation, we have gifts, we have great food, and we have a meeting space that's often in use. So it's a great place to start your visit.
So I know part of Bernheim's message is to get people out, get them into nature, get them healthier, but I gotta put you on this one. What's your go-to when you come to Isaac's?
Oh, well, it's almost always a soup.
Okay.
And then our Nutty Bird sandwich is incredible. It is just a wonderful combination of food. So yeah, yeah. But you know, one of the really great things is Bernheim has a team of 70 plus staff. And each and every one of those people are knowledgeable, friendly, and they're ready to help every visitor have the best experience you can.
Yeah.
And so I encourage everybody, when you come to Bernheim, first of all, when you come through our gates, you're almost a convert right then. But by the time you interact with a few of our team members, you're going to come back time and time and time again.
How can people help support Bernheim, you know, for all of the years to come?
Well, Bernheim is a not-for-profit organization, and so philanthropic gifts, whether it's $25 or whether it's $25,000, means a lot to us. We're buying land with your support. We're educating kids with your support. We're planting horticultural varieties within our arboretum that then landowners, homeowners can say, hey, I like that. That belongs in my yard. How do I get that? So we're doing horticulture and sustainable landscapes with your support. We're doing an amazing amount of conservation and research. We're tracking golden eagles, eastern golden eagles. They come down here in the winter and they go up north into Canada in the Hudson Bay and nest in the summer. I mean, nobody else is doing that kind of stuff. And that's because we get support from people from all over the place. Yeah.
And we certainly know that people in Kentucky do love to support Bernheim. We so appreciate you all having us out to be just one of the many visitors today, because it's bustling all around.
Absolutely, and the fall is a busy season. It's a great time to come because the color is starting to hit, and also then as the leaves drop, you can actually see the landscape. And so it's really one of my favorite times to hike. It's one of my times to be out because you really get a feel for what Kentucky knobs are like, and it's a beautiful place to be.
I mean, I think you can certainly see whether it is colors or animals or cupcakes. You can definitely find something to enjoy at Bernheim when you come to spend a day here, whether it's in the fall or spring or, I mean, gosh, even in the summer, it'd be gorgeous here.
Pack your hiking boots, pack your day, because you're gonna wanna spend the entire day out here. Whether it's the play ecosystem for the kids, whether it's just walking around and seeing the wildlife, the ponds, everything that they have going on out here, the gardens as well. I mean, it is beautiful. It is really Kentucky beauty encapsulated in one, not small, giant area.
Absolutely. We're glad we made it out, and we hope that we see you around for our next stop.